Good morning, everyone. So, today let's start with the chapter The Lost Child, some of the question and answers of this moment's chapter. So, first of all, we'll be starting with the short answer type questions. So, let's start. So, question number one: what are the things the child sees on his way to the fair? So, when he was going to the fair, then what all things he saw? It's a short answer type question, so we need to limit our words. So what will be the answer? He sees people gaily dressed, means the people were finely dressed, they were looking so beautiful, they were riding on the horses, going to the fair on the horses, and on bullock carts and on bamboo carts as well. And he saw some toys, the dragonflies, insects, the worms, the flowers, the doves on his way to the fair. So this was all. Question number two: why does the child lag behind? So why was he lagging behind? Because he was being attracted by several things that were like toys, they were the sweetmeats, they were the dragonflies, they were the flower garlands, the snake charmers, and the roundabout. These all things, they were attracting him, so he was watching them, and he lagged behind, and his parents were moving in front of him, right? What are the things that he wants at the fair? क्या क्या चीजें उसको चाहिए? A garland of gulmohar flowers, some colorful balloons, and the snake charmers. Snake का उसको जो आवाज है वो सुनना था, और एक roundabout पे उसको ride चाहिए था. Question number four: why does a child move on without waiting for his parents' answer whenever he asks for things that attracted him? Because he thought that he'll surely be denied for those things, he'll not be given those things, and he would not be bought those things. उसको वो चीजें नहीं मिलेंगी, उसके पापा उसको डांट देंगे. Thus, he didn't ask for the things. Question number five: when does the child realize that he had lost his way? Like, as we know, he was lagging behind in his path. He was lagging behind in his path. Thus, here also he lagged behind. And when he requested his parents for taking him on the roundabout, then he didn't got any reply. So, sooner or later, he realized that he had lost his way, and the parents were not there with him. Question number six: how does the child's anxiety and insecurity being described? कैसे जो की परेशानी है, इनसिक्योरिटी, वो कैसे डिस्क्राइब करी गई है कि भाई उसके जो रिएक्शन था उससे हमको पता चल जाता है कि वो कैसा फील कर रहा था, कि कैसा वो रियलाइज कर रहा था. जो टीयर्स हैं वो टीयर्स बहाने, आंसू बहाने लग गया था. सारे पूरे उसका जो गला है वो सूख चुका था, उसका फेस इट वाज फ्लश्ड एंड convulsed with fear, and he ran in all the directions without knowing where to go. He just wanted to find out his parents. Moving further, question number seven: why does the child lose interest in the things that he had wanted earlier? जो चीजें उसको पहले चाहिए थी, उनमें उसने सारा इंटरेस्ट अपना क्यों खो दिया? क्योंकि because he felt fearful and insecure at being separated from his parents, because parents were everything for him. He didn't wanted anything rather than his parents. When he was lost, he was feeling highly insecure, highly fearful. Thus, he just wanted his parents and lost interest in everything that he wanted earlier. Question number 8: what do you think happens in the end? अंत में होता क्या है? क्या उसको अपने पेरेंट्स मिल जाते हैं? Yes, of course उसको मिल जाते हैं. This question can be answered in two ways. In my opinion, the child is reunited with his parents. We who are also searching for him and find him crying in a stranger's lap. जो stranger है वो अच्छा इंसान था, उसको सारी चीजें देने की कोशिश कर रहा था, मतलब उसने उसके पेरेंट्स को भी ढूंढवा दिया होगा. One scenario can be this one. Other scenario can be कि वो चाइल्ड नहीं reunite हो पाया, बल्कि जो मैन है उसने उसको खुद रख लिया, जिसने उसको ढूंढा था. He took them with him. Question number 9. Why was the fair being held in the village? क्यों? क्योंकि स्प्रिंग सीजन आ रहा था और उसका जो वेलकम है उसको वेलकम करने के लिए ये हमारा फेयर हुआ था. Question number 10. What tells us that a little boy was excited about going to the fair? So it tells that he was brimming over with life and laughter. It tells us that he was happy and excited to be going to the fair. So we just have to write that he was it can be described as brimming over with life and laughter. Question number 11. Compare the reactions of the father and the mother at the child's request for a toy. पापा का और मम्मी का दोनों का अलग अलग क्या क्या रिएक्शन था. तो जो फादर था, he was glaring at him angrily with his red eyes in his familiar tyrant way. Means usually he behaved like this only with the child, while the mother looked at him tenderly and diverted his attention to the toys from the toys. तो toys से उसका जो हमारी attention है उसको divert कर रही थी, अलग कर रही थी और उसको प्यार से भी देख रही थी. Question number 12. What made the mother caution the child? मतलब उसको धमकाने का क्या reason था? The fact that the child wandered off into the mustard field trying to catch a butterfly made his mother call out to him, come back on the footpath. तो उसकी mother ने उसको बुलाया कब? जब वो एक butterfly को catch कर रहा था in the mustard field. What was the boy engrossed in when his parents sat in the shade of a grove near a well? So the boy engrossed in watching little insects, sandworms. मतलब उसमें उस engrossed का मतलब उसमें चीज में बहल गया था वो. ना बोलते हैं ना छोटे बच्चे को बहला देते हैं. So insects और worms को देखते हुए वो engrossed हो गया था. That were teeming out along the footpath. Footpath के along वो team out कर रहे थे. Question number 14. What diverted the child's attention from the shower of flower petals in the grove? The cooing of doves diverted the child's attention from the raining flower petals. जो flower के petals थे उनसे जो doves है वो cooing करते. It is the sound of the doves that the doves make that sound is cooing. तो उससे उसने हमारा child का attention खींच लिया था from the flower petals. Question number 15. How did the boy react on nearing the village where the fair was being held and why? तो boy ने कैसे react करा? He felt both attracted and repelled at the sight of the large number of people who had converged at the village to enjoy the fair. तो उसने attract भी हो रहा था उन चीजों की तरफ as well as वो repel भी हो रहा था. क्यों? क्योंकि जितने भी हमारे पास लोग थे वो fair में आए हुए थे. Question number 16. Why did the child not ask his parents to buy him the बर्फी? क्यों? क्योंकि इसको पता था उसके पेरेंट्स उसकी रिक्वेस्ट को नहीं सुनेंगे और उसको बर्फी नहीं मिलने वाली. So why to ask? Question number 17. Why did the child move away from the flower seller without asking his parents for a garland? So he was aware that his parents would refuse to buy him a garland and say that they were cheap. क्यों? क्योंकि जो हमारे उसको जो बच्चा था उसको लग रहा था कि जो उसके पेरेंट्स है उसको रिफ्यूज कर देंगे, गार्लैंड्स को नहीं चाहिए. He is grown up for that now. Question number 18. Why did the child not ask his parents to buy him balloons even though he was fascinated by them? तो देखो जितने भी क्वेश्चन है कि उसने क्यों पूछा नहीं, तो सभी का आंसर ये होगा कि उसके पेरेंट्स उसको मना कर देते. He was knowing that thing. बस जो लाइन्स है उनको अपने अकॉर्डिंगली इंटरप्रेट कर देना है टू डेकोरेट योर आंसर. That he was too old to play with the balloons, so he did not ask his parents to buy them for him. Question number 20. Where did the child finally decide to ask his parents to let him enjoy the delights at the fair. कब उसने पूछा एट द राउंड अबाउट, उसने पूछा था ना कि भाई मुझको स्विंग करना है उस झूलों पे, बहुत सारे लोग झूल रहे थे खुश होके, तो उसको भी वो एक्साइटमेंट एनकरेजमेंट चाहिए था, बट उसने जब पूछा तो उसके पेरेंट्स से रिप्लाई नहीं आया था ना, सो दैट वाज द थिंग, वहां पे उसने पूछा था. Question 21. Where and how did the child meet his savior? The child met his savior near the entrance of a temple, where he was almost at the point of being trembled under the feet of the jostling crowd. मतलब जो crowd था उनके पैरों के नीचे दबने वाला था वो. Then he met his savior. Question number 22. How did the man try to quieten the crying lost child? तो जो man था जो उसको मिला था वहां पे टेम्पल के पास, राउंड अबाउट के पास, तो उसने क्या किया? He took him to snake charmer. पहले भी चाइल्ड को स्नेक चार्मर के पास में जाके उससे सुना था, but he was not liking that thing now. Neither the balloon seller he was liking, neither the flower seller nor the sweetmeat seller. बर्फी उसको चाहिए था, but he was not liking that when he got lost. Question number 23. How was the boy's reaction to the attraction of the fair different after getting separated from his parents? जब वो अपने parents से अलग हो गया था, so what was his reaction? तो क्या वो चीजों से attract हो रहा था? No, he was not at all being attracted by the things. Rather, he just kept crying for them, his parents. Question number 24. Do you think the little title of the story is appropriate? Yes, of course, the title is appropriate and it appropriately captures the essence of the story. Means the title itself explains that what will be happening in the story. It highlights the plight of a child who is lost in a fair, and it captures the emotions that the child goes through on being separated from his parents. It shows how the child who a moment ago is excited at the sights and sounds of the fair suddenly loses the interest in all these sights once he realizes that he is lost. So it was a short answer type question, thus you don't have to exceed the limit. So it was all, हमने story का मतलब भी समझा दिया. Now we'll be moving on to the long answer type question, students. We have done the short answer type. Question number 1. Describe in detail all the attraction that a child is drawn to get lost in the fair. So it is an important question, students. Very important question because the whole chapter is based on these things only, right? By which all things he got attracted. So right till the time he loses his parents, the child is attracted to it. Several things that he sees on his way. At first, it is the toys. Toys के लिए attract हुआ. जो कि साइड में शॉप थी on the side of the road. Then he is attracted to the dragonflies in the mustard field. Then the worms and insects. अभी हमने देखा था ना कि जो worms and insects है उसने ही हमारी जो इसकी attraction थी उसे खींच ली थी dragonflies, right? On the footpath and a shower of flower petals और flower petals से attraction हमारी cooing of doves ने खींच ली थी. Cooing of no, here it will not be pigeons, students. It will be doves, right? Be doves here. Then on reaching the fair, he is first tempted by the goodies being sold. Okay, sweetmeat seller then is, and then the colorful balloons, and then the roundabouts. All these things attracted the child's attention, right? So I had highlighted it. We can rewind. Toys, dragonflies, worms and insects, flower petals, cooing of doves, the sweets of the sweetmeat seller, balloons of the balloon seller, and the roundabout attracted his attention. Question number 2. Do you consider the child's behavior as depicted in the story normal? Give reasons for your answer. Yes, it's completely normal. क्यों? क्योंकि जब भी हमारे बच्चे खो जाते हैं, कोई भी बच्चा है वो खो जाता है, so he just wants his parents, right? It's a normal thing. उसको parents ही अच्छे लगते हैं rather than anything else. कोई भी चीज अच्छी नहीं लगती whenever we are lost. The child's behavior was normal. The story very clearly depicts the behavior of a young child who is attracted by everything he sees around him. The child is not only attracted to the toys, sweets, but also fascinated by the natural wonders of the world like dragonflies, pigeons. Here it won't be pigeon students. Corrected, it would be doves. Okay. Flowers and the snakes. This is a reflection of the universal phenomenon of a child's attraction and fascination with the natural world. As mentioned in the story, the child is both repelled and fascinated by the colorful world around him. Fascinate कब हुआ था? जब he was going to the fair. जब repel कब हुआ था? जब वो अपने parents को खो बैठता है around him, which is normal for any young child. The crowd and noise repel a child, while the colorful world and the sights of the fair fascinate him. Right? Question number 3. The story describes certain attractions which may not be so attractive to a modern child. Can you pick some of them from the story? Yes, now children are becoming quite modern. So some of the things like yellow mustard field. I don't think the children would be attracted to it. Very little attraction would be there for them, and technology has taken away a lot of the time, and hence he or she does not have the time to run after the dragonflies. They do not like them, neither the butterflies. Butterflies it might be, but not most probably, or simply rejoice under the rain of flower petals. So these are certain things mentioned in a story that a small child, little child likes, but the modern children they won't like these things, right? With the exposure to amusement parks and water parks, with mechanized rides and an artificially created ambience, they would probably not even feel comfortable in the natural surroundings. However, if the child is allowed to free rein to interact with the nature, he or she would probably find the natural affinity that a human being has for nature and behave in the same manner as the lost child in the story. So the children that are becoming too modern now, if they are means like see, they are also human beings, they are also the children that the lost child was, right? So they are also having that mindset, but the thing is, they are not getting an exposure to that mindset. They are unable to run that mindset in the situation. The situation are becoming that like that they are not seeing these dragonflies, neither the yellow mustard field, and they are getting separated from these things. If they'll get the exposure, then they'll surely become like the lost child's mindset. Question number 4. Describe the character of the child as depicted in the story. Child is very young, we know, innocent, yeah, full of joy, yes, energy as well. He finds everything around him exciting and fascinating, whether a dragonfly or toy displayed in a toy shop. Like any child, he is easily distracted, and his desire and interests keep on changing from the sweetmeats to the balloon to rides. He is not used to large crowds and is repelled and fascinated by them. His whole world revolves around his parents and he is deeply affected at his separation from them. He is obedient and disciplined and does not throw a tantrum to get his object of desire. He fears his father and approaches his mother whenever he is tempted by any of the objects he sees around his journey to the fair and at the fair itself. This was the answer. Moving on further. Question number 5. How does a child in the story lose himself? कैसे खो देता है? और how far is he responsible for his? अभी खोने के लिए वो कितना ज़्यादा responsible है? That also we need to mention. The child is wholly responsible for his predicament, because at every stage we find him wandering off after one attraction or the other in spite of repeated instructions from his mother not to do so. Initially, we find him starting down in the front of the wayside toy shops. Next, he wanders off into all these things we need to mention, that where he got distracted And lose कैसे कर देता है when he went to the roundabout. These things we need to mention.
Thank you all. This much was for today. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, keep learning and keep enjoying.